Zhao didn't know about the caravan sent by Laura on the second day, so he had Green rush to Casa City with 1,000 gold. Unlike last time, Green wasn't suspicious. He was riding a scaled wildebeest. Anyone who stared at the road leading to Stony Mountain will be surprised. Because of Green's mount, most people would ride at least a second level or above magic beast. For example, a flame horse or a wind-chasing horse, and so on. The scaled wildebeest is the continent's most commonly used domestic animal among common people and even low aristocrats, but not adequate for riding since it's just slow. However, the army use it for all practical purposes, even though it can be used in war, but it's very effective in transporting grain and fodder and can also be used to drag carts. Moreover, when necessary, it can be slaughtered to provide meat, despite the taste men can eat to their fullest, and can manage to get that many since scaled wildebeest are cheap. However, for magicians it's not that rare, since most are strict about status and will have their subordinates ride low-level beasts. But Zhao had a reason behind it. He wanted to promote his scaled wildebeest, because it underwent the improvement of the space and became quicker, more violent, and had increased endurance, which made it a good war horse. The point of such actions was because of the enormous demand regarding the scaled wildebeest. Even though the price wasn't high, he still doesn't have to worry about customers, and therefore his pasture will bear benefits. Even still, the scaled wildebeests have its advantages and disadvantages. It will generate profit only if the order is big, so he can only rely on merchants and the army. It took Green a little less than 2 days to arrive at Casa City because of his mount. The road was peaceful, especially after the last battle where Zhao has displayed his battle efficiency. No one dared to cause him any strife. After the scaled wildebeest have underwent the change in the space, there is no way to compare it with ordinary ones. That's what Zhao wants to prove to Laura. She's the only person he can cooperate with. And if he wants to succeed in his pasture plans, he has to depend on Laura and the Marquis family's influence. Personal relations play a very important role in business. Through force of circumstances, Zhao found himself banished, and the Buda family became the entire Akshu Empire's public enemy. If somehow their identities were revealed, they'll die an ugly death. Even though he is now known as a black mage, which will make him save a lot of troubles, people are afraid to approach him. Most merchants will avoid cooperation with a black mage. It took Green a little less 2 days to arrive at Casa City because of his mount. The road was peaceful, especially after the last battle where Zhao had displayed his battle efficiency. No one dared to cause him any strife. Before Green could enter Casa City, he suddenly stopped. In front of him was a carriage he recognized. It was the carriage of Laura. He did nothing but stare. After a few breaths of time, he approached Sergio and said, "Hello, I'm the follower of Mr. Zhao. Please give Miss Laura my regards." To Sergio's surprise, Green was wrapped in armor and helmet hiding his face. He looked like an aristocrat warrior. He did not dare be rude to him. Instead, he gave him a faint smile and replied, "Hello. Please allow me to report to the young lady." He turned around and knocked the glass, saying, "Young lady, the following warrior of Mr. Zhao Hai is in front giving you his regards." Laura was shocked at first, but she opened her door and walked toward Green with a smile on her face. She said, "What matter brought this gentleman to Casa City?" Green responded with a respectful tone, "We prepare to set up the oil pressing plant, but we do not have enough barrels to fill. We also lack some tools. Therefore Lord Zoa sent me to take care of this matters." Laura, keeping her smile, said, "This no major matter. You don't have to waste your time on it. I will have people arrange it for you. You see, I was heading to Blue Mountain Village to see Mr. Zhao. May I ask you to come along with me?" Green stared in surprise. Why must Miss Laura visit Lord Zhao? He thought, then he nodded and said, "I fear my horse can't keep up with your horses." This is no issue. She turned to Sergio and she said, lead the gentleman's horse back to shop and provide him with a wind-chasing horse immediately. Green nodded respectfully and jumped on his new mount, when suddenly Laura said, let's leave then. This time she wasn't heading to the mountain in her carriage, this time she was followed by a whole caravan. She wanted to come back with the radish as fast as possible. That's why the beast dragging her carriage wasn't a scaled wildebeest, but rather a second-level magic beast that looks like an insect. It looks like an enlarged version of a centipede. This beast has an earth element, which means it has much more power than other beasts. And is also quick. Even though this insect-like beast looks fierce, it doesn't seem aggressive. In fact, it emanates an air of docility. Most factions used it to drag carts only if it's urgent. However, only rich factions can afford it since its appetite is very big and requires a big amount of money to maintain. Laura was pressed by the high demand on the radish, and even some aristocrats made inquiries about the mysterious radish. Therefore instead chose the insect-like beast to drag the carts instead of the scaled wildebeest, which takes 4 days to arrive at Stony Mountain. And not only that, the insect-like beasts are far more powerful than scaled wildebeest, and can drag 10,000 jin of radish instead of 5,000 jin. Green noticed the full insect-like dragged caravan, and quickly came to the conclusion that she wants more radishes. Furthermore, the horse he was riding wasn't cheap either. So if Laura doesn't take it back, they will be able to reproduce and enhance it. Moreover, Green was happy not because of the demands on the radishes, but because of his mount right now. Zhao Pasture can reproduce animals even if the parent is a male. It's almost like cloning. So to Green's expectations, they will be able to grow more wind-chasing horses in the pasture.